Hey all, Avros here, back with the next Lufenia Plus fight. This one is against a 2-wave boss fight for Lenna's LD release. The bosses for this one are the 2 Greatest Malboro in the first wave, and 2 Sahagin Shaman, a frequently annoying boss in the second wave. So with the Marlboro, they have the orb spawn in at 79% HP. This starts with a 10 count, and the increases for this one are done by having all 3 of your party members above 30,000 bravery at the end of your own turns, which will add 6 count to the orb. Additionally, this orb is unique in that it doesn't count down on the boss turns, but does have the usual -1 to the count on player turns. And most interestingly of all, if you remove any debuffs from your party, the orb will detonate, which is a lethal attack killing your party instantly. Other than the orb, these are a typical Malboro fight. The second wave orb is active from wave start when the bosses get a turn or after the first time the orb attack triggers. Now that might sound a bit weird, but these bosses have a unique mechanic with their orb as well. The attack is not instantly lethal. It is a usage of Erdgeist's Power Plus, which will do an AoE Bravery plus HP attack that delays the main target that they hit by 1 turn, cleanses a debuff from the boss, and gives them a buff which reduces the Bravery damage taken by 30%, HP damage taken by 100%, and gives them a 50% turn rate up buff, and debuffs the party with Piscine Poison for 2 turns, which is a Bravery Poison, 30% speed down, 50% HP damage down, and a 50% Bravery damage resistance down, and a 30% turn rate down. The boss is also immune to delay and delete effects once they have taken a turn where they unleash the orb attack, and they'll get the little silver frame around their turn on the turn track to represent this. So the orb spawns in with a 10 count and is increased by giving 80% or more maximum bravery to 1 or more party members. So this means actually using an attack that gives someone in a party 80% or more of what their maximum bravery is. This will increase the orb by a count of 5 for each party member that is affected by this gain, and the orb attack will also go off on the boss hitting 79, 49, and 29% HP for each boss individually, and this will also reset the orb count to 10. The other problem with the Sahagin Shaman, as mentioned, these bosses are super annoying every time they've come around. They've also brought another annoying problem to this fight. They absorb all magic damage. Doesn't matter about what element it is, they absorb all of it. They are in fact weak to ranged damage though. And lastly, to make the magic damage immunity even more annoying, they are also immune to all elemental imperiled debuffs. So this includes anything like Kurosame's debuffs, for example, on his call and his LD call, so they're not the best for this final wave. So the strategy for this one was to use Sidmau, so bring Sid Reigns and Aphmau as per usual, which might sound like a bit of a mistake with all of Sid's damage being magic, and the second wave absorbing all magic damage, but this is resolved obviously. Bartz Saga, Bartz is part of the party, so his effects that he has, his Elemental Imperil is not actually a debuff, it's an aura on Bartz himself. So that takes care of the fact that they are immune to Elemental Imperil debuffs, still imperiling them for the wind damage, which with Bartz's BT Plus he does provide to the party, and that allows for Sid to actually deal damage here. So for the first wave, this was an opportunity to get Bartz set up and have his BT aura fully stacked going into the second wave. So on his first turn, you want to use Bartz's BT actual phase, and use Sid's Cavalry Rush to get Bartz turns up sooner so that he can get his BT aura fully stacked as quickly as possible, and this will assist with both the orbs in the first wave, keeping bravery high, and also granting bravery to that 80% threshold in the second wave, so that takes care of the orbs there straight away with just Bartz in the party. Sid also does as well with his LD attack, but that's only for the second wave. And then once he's all set up, you want to just use his AA when he gets his second turn to get the BT aura to level 2, and then use Cait's LD call if you've got it. That's what I ran on Bartz for this one. And then once you've got that up, use his LD attack to finish stacking the BT aura. At this point, Bartz is basically out of the fight. You don't want to lose the Cait Sith LD call, you don't want to lose any turns on his BT aura best you can help it, so you want to just try and avoid having Bartz take any attacks here at all. And so you go into basically just the normal Sidmau setup to make sure that doesn't happen, sharing turns between the two of them to kill the Malboros. And then when you come into the second wave, you want to use the normal setup again with Sidmau, just trying to sort of lower down the HP on both of the Sahagin Shamans fairly evenly for how I ran it. You can try and target one down and finish them off first, or do both evenly. I went for both evenly for how I wanted to run the fight. And whenever you take a hit from the orb expiring, you want to use the HP attack plus Naging on Aphmau instead of HP attack Ojang so that you can actually get the HP restored to the party, get that healing going. And whenever the bosses are sort of starting to get low, around 49% HP, I used Porom's LD call, which I had on Aphmau, to get everyone's HP up above their maximum HP threshold, give them the overflow HP and heal. And then I used Warrior of Light's normal call to prevent the bravery from breaking my party when the 49% orb trigger went off. And then for the rest of the fight, it was pretty easy from there. Once Aphmau ran out of uses of her LD and couldn't use that regular Aphmau Sid combo, I switched out Aphmau for Friend Sid, went into Summon, and then went through actually just trading turns back and forth under Pandemonium Summon there with both Reigns until the bosses were both knocked under 29% HP, and then I used Warrior of Light's LD call on my Sid to get the Shiny Shield up on everyone in the party and get that additional effect from the Warrior of Light's LD that prevents HP damage that's being dealt to the party based on how much Shining Shield's up. The Shining Shield also prevents the bravery breaking as well, and that prevented the HP damage when the summon ended, as both orb triggers went off for being below 29% HP. The rest of the fight at this point, they don't trigger the orbs any more times. I wasn't going to let them get any turns, kept launching with the two Sids until Aphmau came back, and then basically utilized Bart's BT plus finisher when he had its turn to finish off the fight, which killed one of the two Sahagin Shaman, and then there was just a single one left with about 1% HP. Launched again with Sid Reigns. Fight was all over from there. No major issues with closing out the fight once this was all set up. So on that note, that's all I've got for this fight. Thank you for watching. If you'd like any further assistance or want to talk about any alternative strategies for this fight, please ask in the comments down below. I'm always happy to discuss through those. And hopefully you enjoy the rest of this fight. Thanks for watching.
さあ行こう。不屈では終わらない。助け合いだ。そこだ。魂よ、力となれ。助け合いだ。そこだ。光よ、切り開いてみせよう。助け合いだ。そこだ。
協力してね。とっておきだ。
魂よ、力となれ。
だって
助け合いだ。そこだ。
くしてね。とっておきだ。まだまだやっちゃえ。縁も竹縄だな。面白くなってきたぞ。あーしまい。
助け合いだ。
待っていたよ。さあ行こう。不屈では終わらない。
舞うだって。
助け合いだ。
そこだ。
攻撃に転じましょう。任せておきな。せーの。違う自殺よ。頼りにしてるから任せておけ
光よ、切り開いてみせよう。
助け合いだ。
そこだ。
頼りにしてるから任せておけ。
助け合いだ。
待っていたよ。
光あれ風を。
光よ、切り開いてみせよう。
舞うだって。
助け合いだ。
そこだ。
それ以上近寄らないで。
助け合いだ。
待っていたよ。さあ行こう。すべての力を持って呪縛を断つ。
舞うだって。
助け合いだ。
そこだ。立ちはだかるか。さあ行こう。すべての力を持って呪縛を断つ。待っていたよ。
助け合いだ。
そこだ。さあ行こう。すべての力を持って呪縛を断つ。待っていたよ。
助け合いだ。
そこだ。さあ行こう。すべての力を持って呪縛を断つ。待っていたよ。
助け合いだ。
そこだ。 あ行こう。不物では終わらない。待っていたよ。
助け合いだ。
そこだ。さあ行こう。全ての力を持って呪縛を待っていたよ。
助け合いだ。
そこだ。受けてみよう。先行の一撃を。魂よ力となれ。
助け合いだ。
待っていたよ。そこだ。さあ行こう。不物では終わらない。待っていたよ。
助け合いだ。
そこだ。さあ行こう。全ての力を持って呪縛を待っていたよ。
助け合いだ。
そこだ。さあ行こう。不物では終わらない。待っていたよ。
助け合いだ。
そこだ。
助け合いだ。
待っていたよ。そこだ。
ありがとう。頼もしいわ。協力してね。とっておきだ。
助け合いだ。
待っていたよ。
頼りにしてるから任せておけな。こういうのはどう？
冒険はまだ終わらない。やろうぜ。ここだ。ごめんな。当たれ。この勝負もらった。
お仕置き。
さあ行こう。不物では終わらない。
やるだって。
助け合いだ。
私は奴隷ではない。